All right, I'm gonna try it again on here, and I'll have to put my phone on here. So if you can hear me, put a comment because I can see the comments now. Yes, no, maybe. All right, can y'all see? I mean, can y'all hear me? Maybe, maybe not. Please comment. That's the only way I'm gonna know if y'all. Okay. All right. Let me put my thing on here. So I was gonna try to wait. I was on right at 10, but I couldn't get my iPad to show the computer screen. But I'm just gonna answer some questions. My name is Marion. I'm a dispatcher. The name of my dispatching service is Empty Nest Logistics. Empty nest, like my kids are grown. So my nest is empty. And I just wanted to come on and talk about a couple of things. Again, I am a dispatcher. I'm not a teacher, but I don't mind telling people what I know. I and I started off my first class was a freight broker class. And while I was in that class, I realized really quickly that I was not ready to be a broker. Like that, I was not about that broker life, at least not off top. So that was in February, the end of February. Um, and then I ended up right after that taking a dispatching course through that same company in March. And then in like April or May, I took a hotshot class from that same company. So um, I was working, as you can see the Wayfair box in the background. I was working at Wayfair, and I got started part time dispatching, but I realized that was in July. I realized really quickly that you could not dispatch and work. So I was doing it part time, which was on my days off, which was Tuesday and Wednesday. And I had the hot shot. They were out of Texas. They were really good. They were my first clients. So I put in my 2 weeks notice at the job because I was making really good money with them really fast, and I knew I could make more money if I went with them full time. Um, because I was doing well from off the 2 days. So I put in my notice, and while I was waiting on my 2 weeks notice, I got my second client, which is my box truck client, is who I still have right now. So with my first one, they were a new authority. Both of my clients were new authorities. The second one, the box truck, that's the one that was more challenging. The first one, the hot shot, they were easy because they were CDL drivers, and the husband had been a CDL driver for 31 years, and the wife had been a CDL driver for 15 years. So they had all those years behind them, and they had every endorsement. They had hazmat, they had truck, they had everything you can name. They had TWIC, everything. I am in Georgia. I'm originally from Florida. So I dispatched them out of Texas. Um, and then I got my second drivers, like I said. The first ones, I miss them. Um, they actually left because they were leaving a big company that they worked for. So I got them started, and then the wife decided that she wanted to dispatch for the husband. So I taught her what to do, and then, I let them go. So now I just have the one. Um, they were challenging. They have a 24-foot box truck, and they were a new authority. And I was new myself. I still am new. So that's why I say I'm not a teacher or anything like that. I will only just tell you my experiences so far. And I'll talk about what I know how to do. I stay in my lane. I am a dispatcher. So let me say that as a dispatcher, I can do nothing as far as book loads, contact shippers, cold calling to any company without a client because I have to contact those people in my client's name. So I work for my client. Um, I see your comment, Joe. We will have to interview. I'll say this: I interview all of my potential clients just like they interview me because if we're not a good fit, we're not gonna go into any kind of commitment. So we'll talk and we'll find out what your needs are and see if I'm able to help you. Um, but I live in Georgia. My current box truck clients are out of Florida, which is where I'm from. And the partner lives here in Georgia. So my domicile for Amazon is in Florida and in Georgia. So we can run in both. It's just I haven't well actually I did our first load, I'm sorry, the very first load for $810. That went from Florida to Georgia, and that's because I had some work lined up for the truck in Georgia. So we did that, and then when they came back, went back to Florida, we've been doing Amazon and local Florida loads since. My local Florida loads, somebody asked me, because I said I do cold calling. Somebody asked me how do I do it? I do it, of course, through the company's name because I'm looking for loads for them, for their company. Excuse me. So I go on Craigslist and I put in Florida, I put in Orlando, Tampa, the surrounding areas, and then I put in box truck. So anything that it brings me up under box truck, I go through and read it. If it's something that we can do, or if it's not giving a lot of information, I'll call, and just say, good morning, how you doing? My name is Marian. I'm calling on behalf of the company, which is Trip and Transport. I see that you all have loads on, Tuesday. This is just an example. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. We have a 24-foot box truck. We will be interested in contracting with you. And then they'll let us know, your truck is not big enough, or sure, it's like that. I don't really get into those lists from the FMSCA or that people post because everybody is pulling out that list. Everybody is calling those same people. So you got to think outside the box. And I do that. And this is just something that I do for them. I charge 8% to my box truck drivers. In that 8%, I take care I don't separate like some people they charge them for the carry on pack the carrier packets. I feel like that's included in the service. Like, why would you, if you get a load from me and I'm not signed up with that company, you fill out the paperwork and get me signed up for that company. You don't charge me 10, $30 in addition to the 8% a load, but that's just me. So I charge 8%. What I do in that is I, some of the things I do for myself as well as them. So it's kind of a courtesy. So the cold calling, that's a me thing because the more work I can get them, the more I'm going to get paid. But I'm not a money chaser. I am in this out of purpose and passion. And if you walk in your purpose and you're doing something in purpose and you're passionate about it, the money will come. That's how come, as you see on my receipts that I posted, we went from $810 on Amazon, and now you see that the week before last we were at like 4,700, and then this week, well, last week the payment for today is 4,700 again. This week my goal was to make 5,000. Now I'm gonna show y'all my books. I'm old school, so I can show you on Amazon too, but I'm gonna figure out how to turn this thing around on my phone. But I write all my loads down. So I don't know if you can see it, but you can see I was telling somebody last night that I don't just use Amazon. I use Amazon. and I do outside loads in addition to. So you can see in my books, I have all the Amazon loads that we did, and then I have some $200 or $300 loads that we did just locally. I'm in Atlanta. How do I network with you for? Oh, my screen didn't go up for Amazon. I in Amazon, I um I signed my carrier, my owner operator. He's the driver too. I signed them up for Amazon. Like that was just something I was Amazon Relay. I'm sorry, I need to stop saying Amazon. Amazon Relay. Like I told you, I do the cold calling. I do applications for them. I work for them. So I don't call myself a dispatcher. I call myself an advocate. I advocate for my owner operators. Like for example, their needs, like they require $1.50, $1.50 a mile. So when I make calls for them on regular loads outside of Amazon, I tell them I charge $1.60 a load because I want them to be able to pay me and see their profit. So I'm gonna have that freight broker pay everything so they make all profit. And even though I don't charge 10%, I only charge 8, I still take it up 10% when I'm contacting broker for them because I know that they have it. And like I said, I went to freight broker class first. So I already knew the game. I just wasn't in that. And let me do a little backtrack. I was in customer service for 23 years, over 23 probably. So I did cold calling, I did sales, I did training, I was in management. So that was a part of this business that I brought with me, which gives me an advantage because I know how to talk to people. You have to know how to talk to people when you call them. You have to be very professional. And there are some things that, even though some of the brokers aren't professional, they look for professional things in you. Like I have a website. I'll post my website when I'm done. I have an email address that is my business email. It's not a free domain, it's not a Yahoo or anything. It's mking at empteenest.com. Like there's little things, and I'll tell y'all, you go on GoDaddy, you can get an email for $5.99 a month. You buy your domain for the year at like $11, $22, 100. It's not expensive. Um, Sean, I'll get with you after. You can inbox me or you can however you want to do it. But yeah, um this industry is self-driven. If you are driven by money, you're not gonna make it. If you got in this industry because you looked and you saw it's $1 trillion, yeah, but what you didn't see is the hustle is real. The self-motivation is real. And you as a dispatcher, you have to train your owner operators, drivers, carriers. You have to train them. Mine, they already know. And then when you dispatch people, you can create your own cold calling list. Because when you contact the freight broker and they give you that information, you take those BOLs and contact the shipping department on behalf of your carrier, your owner operator, and see if they need somebody. Because what a load board really is overflow. The things that you see on load boards were somebody direct shippers, whoever they contacted wasn't able to pick it all up. So they put it on the load board. It's not the original stuff. So if you can make contact directly, because the freight brokers, they don't want to be on that load board. That's why dispatchers are so necessary, because people talk trash about us and they say, oh, I don't know why people pay them and it's just a waste of time, it's just a waste of money. If you're a driver, owner, operator, carrier, you don't have time to call, to hurry up and call. You don't have time to negotiate. You don't have time to wait on somebody to call you back. You don't have time for a lot of these things. Well, we do. And we establish relationships. We keep in communication. What is the box truck window meaning peak season? Right now is peak season. From what I have researched, it all slows down the second week of January. Excuse me. So, and I keep my carrier abreast of these things. Look here, we're making all this money. We're making at least 6 grand a week, sometimes almost seven. And that's with doing these Amazon loads, which is 4,700, and then the little miscellaneous loads that I send them on throughout Florida, like during the day, because most of the Amazon loads are at night. So during the day, I may find something because my owner operator has a driver. So my owner operator, he drives and he hired a driver. So the driver, he does the Amazon loads for us because they got one truck, one 24-foot box truck is making this money. One truck and one and a half drivers. I say one and a half because the driver is full time. He does all the Amazon loads. And when he goes to sleep in the daytime, the owner operator, if he wants to go out, then he'll let me know and I'll find him miscellaneous loads throughout Florida. Now, we may make about 2,300, and that's from off of they may have some loads right in Orlando. So it may be like two or three loads, $200, but right around the city, $300 each. So that's about, if you do three, that's 600. And then I may find one from Orlando to Miami, that's $800. And then I may find something back from Miami that's 500. So it's not $2,300, or it's not like it's making so much money. But these little small ones, on occasion, they build it up. So so that's a part of what I'm doing. And like I said, that was for the peak season. I know that it's right now. However, um with all that's going on, and I don't know if the incoming president is going to shut the world down for a month or any of that. If he does, then peak season will still go because if people can't come out and shop, guess who's still going to be running? Your carrier. So I just, right now, like I said, I just have one. So would you recommend me investing now? Peak season is almost up. When you say investing, do you already have a truck or are you saying buy right now because it's only what, 2.5 more weeks left in the month? If you're just now needing, getting your MC number and everything, because the MC numbers, it takes like 21 days for it to become active. And like I said, from research in the past, this has slowed down the second week of January. These times now is totally different. I don't know if we're gonna be shut down and trucks will be the only thing that's still running. So that's on you. And I'll say this: if you don't have any money, don't put all your money here because being a new authority, I may Shalimar, we'll talk about it and look into it. But I'm I don't know, what's happening these times, but if you don't have any money, I don't won't say do it because if you don't have a safety net, because there's a couple of things that are going to be challenges. I don't use words like it's going to be against you or it's not going. We got to speak life. So what will be a challenge is going to get a truck with a new authority and you're not able to move loads really quickly. No, meaning get my truck, already have my authority. Okay, so how old is your authority? Does it have any maturity on it? Oh, and when I get off this live, I'm gonna post my my website. I'm gonna post a copy of the insurance that my carrier had to have in order to get on with Amazon. Um, I'm gonna post. I think I have some examples of how to use the Amazon load board because I saw. Okay, let's do that. Um, but I think I have some examples of how the Amazon load board plays games. And if I do find them, I'm gonna post those also. So on the Amazon load board, you This is I have nothing but time. This is one thing about not having a whole lot of people. Sean, you had an authority for a year with no truck, and they didn't cut it or cancel. What's your MC number? Let me go on the Safer website and see what it says that you're what you can do. You have your MC or your DOT. And while I'm waiting on him to respond, but yeah, and so on the board, when you first see something on there in your area, and this is what I learned because I got nothing but time to just sit and watch and study. When you first see a load, say you see a load, for example, matter of fact, I'm gonna go on here so I can give some right now examples. I'm gonna put in Orlando, 150 miles, and I'll put to Miami. Oh, let me turn my. I don't know if my phone will let me go live while I'm on live on here, but we're gonna try it because I want y'all to be able to see.